way in, squeeze tight, and then I'm talking like that. That's how it should look. If you're doing it like that, you're doing a plank correctly. Hey there, Coach Devin here. Planks. I'm sure you've done planks. You talk about planks, everybody's doing a plank. The problem is most people are doing planks wrong. And I'm not kidding. Most people are screwing planks up, doing them completely wrong. And then they're saying, I don't know, the planks, like my shoulders are tired, or they're saying things that are ridiculous, like I could plank for 5 minutes. And you're like, if you're planking for 5 minutes, you're doing it wrong. That's not the way to plank, and you're not doing your plank correctly. So look, I'm going to take a couple minutes to show you exactly how to do a plank and tell you exactly why it is that a plank is going to take the wind right out of you. It's not an easy exercise. It's tough, it's hard, it'll give you positives. All right, first off to remember, planks are not about abdominal rectus, which are the abs you see, right? They're not about that. They're about transverse abdominals, which hold you upright and support your back. If you've got back problems, you need to be using planks and doing them right to strengthen your transverse abdominals. How do you do that? Actually pretty simple. I'm going to walk you through it now. So the first thing you want to remember is you have to vacuum your belly button in, okay? So I'm going to put the phone down. I'm going to walk you through how to do this. First step is vacuum that belly button in, okay? So let's set up, and I'm going to show you how to do a plank exactly so you have a good idea of how this works. All right, hang on 1 second. There we go. Now, you can see me. First step. Vacuum that belly button in. That means get skinny. So if I turn side on to you, suck in as far as you can. You know you're doing a plank right when you're talking like that, okay? That's something to remember. If you aren't vacuuming in and you're not talking like that, and you're like, I'm doing a plank, here I am. You're not doing it right. So first step, vacuum in, pull your belly button in as far as you can. Second step to a plank, you're gonna pull up, if you're a lady, with your Kegel muscles, a man with your PC muscle. If you don't know what that is, it's the muscle, if you're urinating and you have to stop in the middle, that's the muscle you use. Everybody understand probably what I'm talking about? Okay, PC muscle for men, Kegels for women. So, step 2, vacuum in, then pull up with that PC or Kegel muscle as hard as you can. Now that you've done that, now let's get in a plank and try it. So how this works is, I'm gonna set up on my elbows and my toes. You can see, not real hard. Talking to you, relaxed, not doing it right. So now we're gonna vacuum in with the belly button up in the Kegel, PC or Kegel, and that's how I'm talking. That's how you're supposed to do a plank right there. If you're not doing it like that, if it doesn't feel like that, you're doing it completely wrong. Keep that in mind. Now, how tough is that? Look, if you're doing it right, you can hardly breathe. If you can hardly breathe, you can only last maybe 20, 30 seconds max, then you have to stop, okay? So if you have a hard time breathing because you're squeezing so hard, you're pulling in so much, you're doing it right. The third part, which is super important, is that you aren't completely flat, okay? I don't want you like an old horse. That's the problem. People try to go flat, bad things happen. So I'm gonna turn sideways so you can see an idea of what I'm talking about. All right, let's work our way around. So, a lot of people plank when they're here. That's not a plank. What I want to do is plunge in a little bit, and I'm actually up just a touch, belly button way in, squeeze tight, and then I'm talking like that. That's how it should look. If you're doing it like that, you're doing a plank correctly. That is how to do a plank, kids. If you're doing it any other way, you're doing it wrong. If your shoulders are getting tired, your quads are getting tired, that's nice, they're auxiliary muscles, but the transverse abdominal is what we're trying to work on. If you're not doing it with the transverse abdominal, you're not talking like that because you're not squeezing that hard, then you're not doing it right. So to recap, so everybody remembers, pull your belly button in as far as you can toward your spine, like you're trying to get skinny and getting through a really tight door or something like that. That's the first step. Once you suck it in, pull up with that Kegel or the PC muscle, Kegel or PC muscle. That's the muscle you were use if you were urinating and you want to stop in the middle of it. That's the muscle you want to use. 3, squeeze the hell out of it. Don't let your back get down like an old horse. You want to actually plunge up just a little bit. If you do it that way, you will work your transverse abdominals. That is what we're trying to work. You can fix a lot of back problems and sore backs if your transverse abdominal is strong because it allows you to stay upright. The problem is a lot of people are sore because of the fact their back is doing all the work because the transverse is weak. Hey, we all sit down all day, right? Makes it tough. So if your transverse is strong, your back will feel better. How many times you got to do this? I don't know. Honestly, 2 times a week. Well, I do know. Actually, I don't know why I said I don't know. 2 times a week, 3 times a week at a maximum. Do 20 seconds, take a minute break, do another 20 seconds. You do that 2 to 3 times in a week. Your transverse will get stronger. You'll get rid of back problems, and you will have better core. Let me know what you think of this. Write up down below if you have comments, questions, or things you want me to talk about. Have yourself an amazing day, everybody. Don't fight the awesome.